Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Drew back again with another video for all you American soccer fans out there. And in this video, we're going to talk about two great American players this season who have gotten some interest from Europe. And in this video, I really want to talk about whether or not I think these two players should go and try their game in Europe, or whether or not I think they should stay here. And of course, those two players that I'm talking about are Paul Arriola from DC United and Paxton Pomykal from FC Dallas. So without further ado, let's get to it. Of course, as always, if you guys love soccer and you want to see it get the growth and respect it deserves in this country, and you want to be part of that change, then subscribe down below and be part of it. First, start with Paul Arriola. Paul Arriola is a player who has very much impressed me in almost every single game I've seen him so far for the national team. I don't see him too much for DC United in MLS because I don't really follow DC United like that. And I'm sure you DC fans will tell me he is a great player, considering that fact that he has played 57 games and scored 12 goals so far in those 57 games for DC United. So I think that's a pretty decent record for a winger and a player who could play as a fullback when needed. The types of teams who have been mentioned to have been interested in Paul Arriola are teams from Liga MX and from England, notably, or more notably I'd say, the Premier League. Not a Champions side team, not a League One side, but the actual Premier League teams are interested in Paul Arriola. Now, am I going to go ahead and say, Manchester City or Chelsea or Arsenal, Liverpool, all these top 6 teams are interested in Paul Arriola? I'd say no, probably not. I'm sure they're looking at other players who are fully developed now or showing more potential than Arriola does right now. But I'm guessing teams possibly middle of the pack teams like, let's say, newly promoted Norwich, Sheffield United, Southampton, Brighton, Hove Albion, teams of that nature, I think Paul would do wonders in. I think he'd be successful in the Premier League. He's got the pace, he's got the work rate, which always impresses me every time I see him play. I know he's kind of a polarizing player because he doesn't score too many goals for the national team, I'd say, because he's maybe not that clinical in front of goal. I also think this guy has a lot of potential. He's only 24 years old. His game looks to be going up from here, and I think a move to the Premier League would do him wonders, hopefully. And if not, maybe go to La Liga. I think maybe some middle of the pack teams in La Liga, or maybe some higher teams like Valencia or Sevilla would do wonders for Paul Arriola as well. And also a good thing to mention is that since Paul Arriola started his senior career professionally, he did start it in Mexico with Tijuana in Liga MX. He stayed there for 4 years, so he's got to know Spanish. He's got to obviously be more technical and more skillful with the ball than maybe some of his American comrades on the national team and at DC United. So I think a move to La Liga would probably be a little bit better and maybe possibly a little more comfortable in terms of style of play for Arriola if he were to go to La Liga rather than, of course, the Premier League. But do I think this transfer is going to happen anytime soon? No, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, at least. If it was up to me, I'd let him finish up the season with MLS and then go ahead and join his team, his new team, hopefully in Europe by January. But I don't think it's going to happen, considering the fact that I follow Paul Arriola and his girlfriend, both of them, on social media. And I follow them because they do have this small YouTube channel growing right here, and I'll leave that link down below so you guys can go and check that out. Really go and support. They do cool Q&As and little just fun videos of her at his games. Really cool, really interesting stuff to watch. Definitely give them a subscription and hit their like buttons on their videos. But what makes this relevant is I follow both of them on social media, and his girlfriend posted today that they just bought a new house an hour away from Audi Field. So I can't see Paul Arriola really going ahead, buying a house with his girlfriend and their 2 dogs, and then, jumping ship at DC United and just going and leaving, moving to Europe and changing his whole lifestyle after he just kind of cemented himself a little more sturdier here for the MLS season and maybe more seasons to come. So I don't think it's going to happen, maybe not in 2 or 3 years, maybe 3 years. I mean, we never know what's going to happen. Maybe he'll have a change of heart and they both want to go and move over to Europe. But as of right now, Paul Arriola is staying put, so all you DC United fans have nothing to worry about as of right now. Your season's looking even brighter now that Paul Arriola will not be plucked away from a European side. So that's that. Now on to Paxton Pomykal, another player who has gotten interest from European teams, but we don't know the geography of those teams who seem to be interested right now in Pomykal. But that's fine. We can still speculate. We can still talk about where I think he should go. Blah, blah, blah. Have a nice chat. And according to Andre Zanata, the technical director for FC Dallas, he is really hoping that Paxton Pomykal doesn't leave Dallas for another 2 or 3 years. And I'd go ahead and say, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. Paxton Pomykal obviously making his name for himself this current season in MLS, playing 9 games for the first team of FC Dallas, scoring 2 goals and giving 1 assist. It may not be the most, crazy stats, but it's just the type of player that Paxton Pomykal looks to be becoming. He has a great work rate. He's skillful with the ball. He can pick out a good key pass, attack midfielder, play on the right, play in center mid. He's very versatile in the midfield. He looks to be a really highly potential prospect of a great American player for FC Dallas and for American soccer in general. And I would not surprise that Paxton Pomykal is drawing interest from teams across the world, because he did have a really great Under-20 World Cup this past summer. Of course, USA didn't get to win a championship, but that's fine. Our players still performed well, some more than others and some a little less than others, but that's fine. Paxton Pomykal was a star player during that tournament for most of the games. And if it was up to me, I don't really have much to speculate right now for Paxton Pomykal. I would love to see him, of course, in the Premier League, but I can't really go ahead and speculate which league I think he'd do great in. But I'm going to try anyway. Possibly the Bundesliga. He can follow the footsteps of Tyler Adams and Weston McKennie. Really other great center midfielders who used to play in MLS and now play in the Bundesliga, making good appearances for their senior teams of their clubs. More specifically, Tyler Adams more than Weston McKennie, but that's fine. I think Paxton Pomykal would do wonders or be very successful in the Bundesliga right now, so maybe it's something he can think about. He's got some good support over there with his American colleagues. It's not just them. We got Josh Sargent, we got Aaron Johansson. I forget his first name, but it's fine. Now on to my thoughts on whether or not I think Paxton Pomykal should go ahead and push for a move outside of FC Dallas and go and play for a team in Europe. I'd say he should. I think he really should try hard and push for a move to go and get out of MLS. He's is a good player who's turned to be a really great prospect, like I've said before. But I think what he should do, and Paxton, if you're listening, what I think you should do is really finish the season out right now with FC Dallas, and then play maybe half or a full season next year with FC Dallas. Really cement yourself as the next big thing in American soccer after Christian Pulisic and Tyler Adams. Really cement yourself as the prospect you're seeming to be becoming, and then possibly get a bigger move maybe this time around in Europe. Maybe a bigger team will be interested after they see the type of player you turn out to be. I only see your career going up from here. You seem to have the if factor. It sounds really corny, but I think you got it. You got what it takes to really become a really great player. So I think that's your boy Drew's recommendation right there. Okay, that's a wrap for me, you guys. But before you go, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button down below. It really helps the channel out. Helps American soccer out, of course, because that's the whole goal of this channel. Let me know your thoughts, as always, down below on this topic. Do you think these two players should go and push for a move outside of MLS? Let me know down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. And I'll see you next time.